In case you didn't know, there is a major London phone theft pandemic that has been happening and rising over the past 10 years. And it looks like a secret criminal network has been exposed, and where these phones are going has finally been identified. This isn't just a random robber on the street that is just taking your phone and using it for their own expense. They're actually selling it to a specific location in London that is being shipped to certain countries because there is a huge network of people. We have to get into this. Hey guys, it's Murad Murali, daily and consistent content. Let's get straight into this video. I want to make it really clear to you guys that I am from London. So if anybody understands this London phone theft pandemic, it is me. The New York Times reporting on this and, creating this article, to me, I'm a little bit iffy on, purely because these writers are not from London. So therefore, these journalists don't really have that understanding. I also want to make it clear that London is not this dangerous zone that it has become online, where there are certain videos and people blow them up on purpose to make it look like London is this very dangerous city to be in, high criminal activity. That is not the case. Despite this conversation and this video, it has been revealed via statistics that the murder rate in London right now is the lowest it has ever been. London is the safest now than it has ever been. Low in the last couple hundred years, extremely low. I want to make that very clear that London is definitely a safe city, but specifically phone theft is on the rise. And there are multiple reasons for this, obviously because of police cuts via certain parties, i.e. the Conservatives. And that has obviously led to police not really wanting to deal with low crime like this and focus on other stuff, and therefore a criminal network has been built upon this. A criminal network would not be built upon this if they didn't think that they could get away with it. But that's basically what has happened here. The scale of crime has gone beyond the pickpocketing familiar to London. A record 80,000 phones were stolen in the city last year. Last month's raids were aimed at identifying a group of middlemen who the police say use second-hand phones shops as part of a multi-layer global criminal network. By the end of the 2-week operation, police had found about 2,000 stolen phones and £200,000, which is $250,000 in dollars. One woman who had her phone taken from her upon using Find My iPhone had realized that this was basically placed in a warehouse by Heathrow Airport, ready to be shipped off to a different country. Other people began to realize that their phones also were taken to this warehouse, who didn't know the other person who had their phone stolen. A lot of these phones were taken to these airport warehouses and left there. They were wrapped in aluminium foil so that, transmitting devices and signals, it basically would not work with the phone because the foil would deflect it. And this seems to be a secret criminal network that has basically just been exposed in this article and via various articles, and is a very hot talking point in London. The Heathrow seizure, a team of specialist investigators who normally deal with firearms and drug smuggling was assigned to the case. They identified shipments and used forensic to identify 2 men in their 30s who are being suspected of the ringleaders of a group that sent 40,000 stolen phones to China. When the men were arrested, the car they were traveling in contained several phones, some wrapped in this particular foil. Some phones are reset and sold to a new user in Britain, but the majority are shipped to China and Algeria, 2 of countries, as part of a local to global criminal business model. The police said that adding that in China, the newest phones could be sold up to $5,000, generating huge profits for the criminals involved. Stolen phones that have been blocked in the UK can be used without any problems in China, which obviously is an incentive. This is the 3-tier criminal network, the police say. In the middle are the shopkeepers and entrepreneurs who buy stolen phones from thieves and sell them to unsuspecting members of the public. On the lowest tier are the thieves. Their numbers have risen in line with the juicy profits on offer. Overall, crime in London has fallen significantly. Murder crime has also fallen significantly. Phone theft is extremely high. About 70% of thefts last year, and it has risen sharply. 80,000 phone thefts last year. So there is a tier of a criminal network, guys, and this isn't just happening in London. It's happening in various cities all over the world, especially in the US as well. And this is what is going on. Why are these phones being sent to China, to Algeria? I don't think that these countries are asking for it because their technology is also very much advanced. But why are all of these phones being brought to into a warehouse. Profits are definitely there, but I don't think that is a pure incentive. I don't see why a stolen phone in London is suddenly $5,000 in China when they also have iPhones over there, let alone other better phones as well. Overall, police cuts have obviously caused this to rise, and on top of that, technological advances with electric bikes and e-bikes, which can be rented anywhere in London to basically ride on them and steal stuff easily. Been raids on second-hand phone shops in North London last month, which basically paid off because police also recovered £40,000 and 5 stolen phones right there. Those handsets will join around 4,000 other stolen iPhones recovered by the police since December. In longer term, Commander Featherstone said the police want to dismantle the criminal networks driving this illicit trade and desensitize the criminals from stealing these phones because they basically can be caught. What is this criminal network? And the fact that it's been operating right below our eyes and all being sent off to airport warehouses to be sent to different countries is, to me, insane. A rare amount would be given to the corner shops, the phone second-hand shops, for them to sell on, and then they would make money from giving the phone, but the majority are wrapped in aluminium foil, sent to airport warehouses to be sent off to China. I don't understand why this has happened, why this has gone on for so long. I do believe police cuts are a reason, but this whole topic to me was very interesting, so therefore I wanted to speak about it. But I want to remind people that whilst this phone theft has now been explained with the criminal 3-tier network that has just been exposed, London is not this dangerous city that everybody is making it out to be publicly. As I would like to repeat, murder rates are the lowest it's ever been in London, and theft rates are extremely low. It's only phone theft that is extremely high, and I want to know why. Is detail, on the phone, information, all of this personal data, is all of this being stolen, and that is why these phones are being taken, and therefore they get the little goons to get on these e-bikes and basically steal them and to obviously send them off. And then the phone parts, basically it's very interesting that there's a whole 3-tier network that has basically been exploded and created in London over the past 5 years. It is a pandemic within itself, and it's finally been exposed, and hopefully it's put a stop to. I myself personally have not had my phone ever stolen from anybody in the past, maybe when I was a kid, but I'm talking about this from this criminal network. But I'm from London. I know the ins and outs of the city and when you should have your phone out and when you shouldn't have your phone out. I already know that. A lot of people who move here, because remember, only 8% of London's population are from London like me, the majority move here, so obviously don't have an understanding of how things may work, unfortunately. But all of this to me is very interesting, because is data being stolen in this kind of way, possibly, and sent to different countries? I do wonder why. Subscribe, comment down below, give this video a thumbs up, I would appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys soon for another video.